Hey there, welcome back. It's day 2 and it's great to see you. Day 2 and I'm in the mood to do some centering. Today's practice is about centering, finding that inner stillness that lies within us, that quiet space where we can reflect, know ourselves, and know the world. Sometimes it can be hard to find that space, and it can be helpful to have a place to start. I like to start with the earth. Grounding into the earth, being reminded of that connection, feeling its support, helps me to keep things in perspective. Because when it might seem like nothing is going your way, in reality, a ton of stuff is. Connecting with the earth helps me to notice just how supported I really am, and just how many things I really can rely on. For example, this stuff that's holding me up right now is going to keep doing that regardless of the mistakes I've made, the choices I've made, or the people I've hurt. The sun is going to continue to rise, and the birds are going to continue to sing. So in today's practice, we will be focusing on this absolute support that we all have. You're going to want a few props. So taking a second and gathering your bolster, blankets, and blocks. Maybe pause the video to grab these things, and when you're ready, I'll see you on the mat. We will begin our practice today in a seated meditation. So finding an easy cross-legged pose, maybe bringing with you a blanket to place underneath the hips. Find a comfortable seat, maybe allowing the eyes to close. The left hand rests easy on the thigh, the elbow being allowed to hang directly underneath the shoulder. Placing the right hand fingertips so that all 5 fingertips come in contact with the mat or the earth, forming our Bhumisparsha mudra. Begin to forge a connection with the earth, feeling yourself rooted into her and all the support that she has to offer. No matter what mistakes you have made, questions you have, she supports you all the same. Begin to notice your breath. Each inhale becomes longer and fuller. Each exhale more complete and steadying. And we just allow ourselves to begin to settle into stillness. Continuing to maintain that contact with the earth with our right hand fingers. And everything that's come before and everything that's to come after simply fades away. All that's left is here and now. All that's left is the stillness. All that's left is our strength. And we begin to feel a centering and a rootedness. A strong foundation begins to build. On the next inhale, begin to fill all the way up. The belly expands, the chest expands, and grow long through the top of the head. When you reach the top of your breath, find a pause. Feel that space between breaths and heartbeats. And then a gentle, steady exhale through the mouth. Let it all go. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, fill all the way up, pausing at the top. And then an open mouth, clearing exhale, let it all go. And your next Inhale, allow the eyes to flutter open and both hands come to rest on the knees. Moving through seated cat-cow, we will begin to awaken the spine. With an inhale, lift the chest, allow the throat to open by lifting the gaze. Hands pull back on the knees, belly softens. Exhale, dome the spine, tuck the chin, press the palms into your knees. Belly pulls to spine. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, dome and release. Moving on at your own pace, we'll take several rounds of breath here. And feel free to take any other variation of movement that feels good to you right now. Maybe that's creating C shapes by bringing the hips and the shoulders together, side and the other side. Maybe that's making some deep shoulder circles, sweeping the chest forward and around, back again. Whatever you need today. On the next inhale, find stillness, and rolling over your shin, come onto hands and knees. You may bring your blanket with you as we come into a kneeling position, placing the blanket underneath your knees if they're tender. Also an option to fold your mat to provide some additional padding if you don't have a blanket with you today. And coming into kneeling, we'll inhale, reach both arms up and overhead, gaze comes overhead. As you exhale, sweep the arms forward and behind you as you hinge at the hips, bringing the forehead to the mat. And engage in the core. Inhale, sit up, sweep arms overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, sweeping arms behind you, forehead rests. Take a few rounds of breath here on your own. And your next inhale, find stillness and a kneeling posture. And we'll set up for gate pose. Stepping the right leg out to the side and bringing the right foot parallel with the back edge of the mat. Inhale, reach arms open into a T. And as you exhale, spill over the right thigh. Right fingertips reaching towards your toes and the left fingertips reaching high to the sky. Worrying less about how deep our side stretch is to the right, how deep we lean, and focusing more on how far we reach those left fingertips. Feeling for the side stretch in the left side body. The next inhale, engage your core, lift the torso, come back to center. And as you exhale, find your counterbalance by releasing left hand down to the mat and right fingertips reaching towards the sky. Gently press your hips forward as you seal the outside edge of the right foot down to the mat. Feeling across the front of that right hip, nice stretch. Inhale, come back to center, find kneeling once more. And switching sides, step the left foot out to the left side. Outside edge of the left foot parallel with the front edge of your mat. Arms come out wide in a T, and as you exhale, spill over the left thigh, right fingertips reaching towards the sky. Press the hips forward and feel for a nice stretch in the side body. On the next inhale, engage the core. Find your counter stretch. Lifting the torso and exhaling, release right hand down. Left fingertips reaching towards the sky, hips press forward. Press through the outer edge of the left foot. And with an inhale, engage the core, lift the torso, come back to center, find kneeling once more. And then making your way into staff pose, find a seat and extend both legs out long in front of you. Hands rest lightly by your sides. And finding a wide-legged seat, spread the legs wide, flex the feet. Maybe finding your bolster or pillows and allowing this to be a supported forward fold. Just let gravity facilitate your stretch. Find ease, find rest here. If you notice your thoughts beginning to wander, gently acknowledge them and set them aside. And come back to stillness. Maybe notice the earth supporting you. Notice all the places in which you can feel the ground beneath you, holding you up. Giving you stability. On your next inhale, begin to walk your hands towards your hips as you begin to sit up. And then make your way into a tabletop position. Shoulders stacking over wrists and hips stacking over knees. And setting up for a supported child's pose, find your bolster or your pillows once more. Bring the big toes to touch and spread the knees wide. And placing your pillow or bolster so it is long ways in line with your torso. Find a nice inhale. And then exhaling, begin to release down, walking the arms out long in front of you and coming to rest on your bolster, pillows, or maybe you've even taken your blocks and blanket to create a nice support here. I will mind the time while you enjoy the stillness.
All things are possible. That's what they told me when I was young. All things are possible. That's what they told me when I was young. All things are possible. That's what they told me when I was young.
Begin to bring motion back into your fingers and your toes. Bringing awareness back into your body. And setting your props aside, find your way into an easy seat. Once more with the left hand resting on the thigh and the fingertips of the right hand pressed into the earth ever so gently. And taking just a few last moments to gather up the stillness, the competence, the resilience that we've cultivated today in our practice, so that we might carry it with ourselves throughout the rest of our week. To call upon should we find ourselves challenged. Find a deep, full inhalation. Fill all the way up. Pausing at the top, finding that space. Then a steady, complete exhale out the mouth. Let it all go. Inhale, reach arms out and overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in each and every one of you. Together we say, Namaste. So you tried your hand at stillness. I'm sure it was an absolute success, a total piece of cake. Your thoughts never wandered once, huh? Yeah, I didn't think so. They're gonna wander, it's gonna take practice, and truly having a still mind is probably going to be the most difficult thing that you will ever do. I know it's the most difficult thing that I have ever tried, and I'm continuing to try. But with each time that our thoughts wander, it's an opportunity to practice that stillness. Setting them aside, without judgment, coming back into that still space, and then doing it again whenever they wander again. Just know that it's never a failure when your thoughts do wander. It's just an opportunity to practice. And the more and more often we live in these still spaces, the easier it will be to keep our problems in perspective. So that kind of leads us into today's journaling exercise, which is to take a moment and think of all of the things in your life that you can rely on, no matter how trivial they are, no matter how simplistic they are. Things that when you know you can count on when you can count on nothing else. One of the things, there's a quote actually that I absolutely love. I love to cook, and so I don't know if you've heard of it, but the movie Julie and Julia is one of my favorite movies. And one of my favorite quotes from that movie is she's come home and she's had a hard day, and it goes something to the tune of, you know what I love? When nothing is going your way and you can count on nothing, I know that I can come home and I can mix egg yolks with chocolate, sugar and milk, and it will get thick. And there is something comforting in that. So what are the things that you find comfort in? What are the things that you can count on when you can count on nothing else? That's what I want to address in today's journaling exercise. So maybe taking pen to paper, especially for this one, because there's going to be a pretty long list. Take a moment and write down all of the things, no matter how small they are, that you take comfort in and you know that you can count on. And as you watch that list grow, you may notice how when you compare it to the few things in your day that didn't go your way, just how good we actually have it. Staying the course and achieving our goals, living the life that we want to live, is so much easier when we're able to keep our eye on the ball or the big picture at hand and not get sidetracked by the few things that kind of messed us up today. It's easy to know them as temporary setbacks rather than the gut-wrenching upheaval we can mistake them for. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. I hope you found it thought-provoking. And I hope to see you back here tomorrow for day 3, where we will address coping with stress and anxiety. It's one of my more favorite practices, and I hope that you enjoy it too. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Until next time, be well.